Lil Durk is cooked, bro. The feds trying to give Lil Durk 100 years, man. And now they even more motivated to give Lil Durk 100 years after the week that Lil Durk done had. Lil Durk and his attorney has been playing offense this week. Th've been going directly at the federal prosecutors.
He talking about, hold on, whoa. Why? Who was that I just seen? They said, they did something. I want to say it was an interview or like a show, and then the feds got mad, and I don't know, they hit him off with some extra or some mold, you know what I mean? I forgot who it was. And I wonder, is that like the instance with this little Dirt thing? Is they saying like the feds mad because he did whatever. And now they, you know what I mean?
In mistakes they've made in the Lil Durk trial. They filed a motion to dismiss the case. They're going doing podcasts and interviews, commenting on Twitter, and explaining why Lil Durk should be free. Federal prosecutors used an edited clip of a Lil Durk music video to indict him. In that clip, it was edited to make it seem like Lil Durk was confessing to Quano Ronald's murder when that wasn't the case. But the federal prosecutors have admitted that this was a minute mistake. It can be changed. It can be fixed. Durk and him is saying, nah, bro, release him from prison. Y'all use this to indict him. So federal prosecutors don't really like to look like fools. They don't really like to acknowledge mistakes. So the fact that Durk and them is rubbing it in their face.
How he know that? Flacco ain't been charged with no federal offense. How he know how federal prosecutors? How he even, bro? He ain't never been on a state yard. So how he know how federal prosecutors is moving? He don't know. Who was his inside source? I ain't trying to debunk Flacco, but he don't know. He don't know at all.
Has motivated them to provide more information on Lil Durk in separate cases that they got pending against Lil Durk to really send a message that, yo, we're not playing around here. We're not fooling around. We got more ammo on Lil Durk. And we're going to talk about never before seen ammo and documents and cases that they got coming on Lil Durk in this video. But before we get to that, here is the interview that Lil Durk lawyer did that the federal prosecutors are very upset at.
There was an indictment that did not name him, right? It named others, and then there was an unindicted person. And then 3 weeks later, that indictment was what's called the first superseding indictment, and it does name him. The indictment was identical, except the unnamed person now became Dirk Banks. And this is the really important part, Ak. The second indictment, what's called the first superseding indictment, only had one new fact.
Man, shout out to Ak, man. Shout out to Ak for becoming so big that his platform having exclusives with Lil Durk over a federal phone. Shout out to Ak for having exclusive with Lil Durk attorney discussing the federal case and the federal evidence that the district attorney has and reasons for indicting Lil Durk. Man, shout out to DJ Academics, dog. Shout out to DJ Academics, always going live with the exclusives.
It had one new fact, and that was it alleged that there was a
and I just wanted to say that's off the record.
a video by Dirk that celebrated and monetized this killing. Okay? And so that was the only fact. That was the only thing that distinguished. So
the first indictment dropped and Lil Durk was unnamed. He wasn't a defendant. That's because the feds didn't believe they had enough to successfully charge Lil Durk with a crime. So they just listed him as one of the co-conspirators. He was unnamed though. Their plan was to wait it out, wait a couple months, probably catch Lil Durk in something, and then get him booked once all their ducks are in a row. However, their plans were spoiled because after they arrested the co-conspirators, they realized that Lil Durk was hopping on a plane to go to Dubai. So they wrote up an emergency federal complaint with a judge, got it approved, and they put Lil Durk in jail as they await to indict him. So now, when they finally had enough to quote unquote indict Lil Durk, the only difference from the complaint that they felt did not have enough to indict Lil Durk and the official indictment was the edited music video where they claimed Lil Durk confessed to this murder. That music video was fan created and it was edited.
If the government says, "Oh, it's no big deal, no harm,"
so it was fan created. That's like it's AI generated to fit, make Dirt fit the description of what they need for this case. So basically, you handpicked or you went out and found something that you thought was credible, because it in the end it really wasn't, because it was a fan thing. The fans made that.
no foul. That's not true, because that's the one thing they added when they threw Dirk Banks into the indictment. And as soon as we got the indictment, we noticed, and we started hearing from people in the music world. People are like, this doesn't really make sense. That song, those lyrics were done a long time before that. I mean, we were hearing it from all different directions. We were hearing it from studio people. We were hearing it from people that wear suits to work every day, executives.
Exactly. Yep.
And so we were like, we got to get to work here. We got to figure this out. And so at the detention hearing, okay, we had this first detention hearing in December of 24. We go to the court and we say, first, this issue of leaving the country, it was all presented incorrectly.
Federal prosecutors hate owning up to mistakes. And you know what they hate more than owning up to mistakes? The world knowing they made a mistake. The world thinking they are a fool. So you know what they did, bruh? After this interview got aired, after he did the Vlad TV interview as well, after he went to other platforms to speak on how federal prosecutors are fools and this big mistake they made and how dumb they are, the federal prosecutors did a full-on press on Lil Durk. They announced they're indicting Lil Durk on another charge.
If you're launching a new business or have been successfully running one for years, finding the best insurance coverage for your commercial vehicle is crucial.
That's crazy.
Whether your business is landscaping.
On May 1st, 2025, the grand jury returned a second superseding indictment charging defendant Banks and his co-conspirator.
So you saying they had more work on him. They didn't even push or press for this only until Dirt and his lawyer, basically his lawyer, because your lawyer has man, a lot of these terms is ancient to me. It's like I'm digging in these archives for these terms, to bring them to y'all, but I can't remember it because it's so old to me. I can't think of what it is, but your attorney has the right to sign for his client. When you going through the judicial system, your attorney can sign for you. So he can sign your waivers. You know what I mean? And I just can't think of the term right now. But basically, Lil Durk and his lawyer, co-signed by Lil Durk, go on this press run for us with these podcasts or whatever, and do these interviews in the show or expose that the DA, the federal district attorney, doesn't have, or this the reason why they, you know what I mean, or they detained Lil Durk till they built their case up and was officially, ready to officially charge him. Being that y'all went on this press run, now the DA and the federal judicial system said, let's go, we didn't go with all the stuff that we had, but since they doing this, let's present these new charges from all this evidence that we did have, and we didn't, we only presented him with, I think it was 2 charges, murder for hire and something else, first degree murder. So they say, hey, let's do this other stuff. And it might be conspiracy and all, because that's what come with if they wanted to. Because if the murder is premeditated or the plot to murder, they can go with conspiracy to murder. Because, conspiracy is like when you conspire to do something, when you plan or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
With crimes arising from the August 2022 murder of SR, which is Lil Pop, including an additional charge.
I often say, because it'd be different if it was an attempt on a life. Oh, let me stand corrected. It was an attempt on a life, but someone like actually died, not the intended target. So it's still someone lost a life in the commission of you trying to commit a murder. You understand? If in the commission of me trying to kill David, Matt still died. Let me back this up.
They announced they're indicting Lil Durk on another charge. On May 1st, 2025, the grand jury returned a second superseding indictment charging defendant Banks and his co-conspirators with crimes arising from the August 2022 murder of SR, which is Lil Pop, including an additional charge of stalking resulting in death. Defendant Banks has presented a false narrative that he is being prosecuted and detained because of his violent lyrics. This claim is and has always been baseless. The SSI contains no allegations about defendant's lyrics. Instead, just like every iteration of the indictment before it, the SSI contains significant allegations that shows defendant alleged role in the execution-style murder of SR on a busy street corner in Los Angeles. These allegations and the other evidence the court considered during defendant's December 2024 detention hearing leave no doubt that defendant is an ongoing danger to witness and the community and a flight risk. He should remain detained pending trial. The prosecutor's not even hiding it, bro. This was a direct response to Lil Durk's attorney trying to expose him. Because the
50 seconds of, the artist coming on and rapping, and then they were what and run it back and then start the verse over. Let me run this back. That's what it used to be called.
SR on a busy street corner in Los Angeles and has always been baseless, with crimes arising.
There you go. Go ahead.
They hate owning up to mistakes. The world knowing they made a mistake. The world thinking they are a fool. So you know what they did, bruh? After this interview got aired, after he did the Vlad TV interview as well, after he went to other platforms to speak on how federal prosecutors are fools and this big mistake they made and how dumb they are, the federal prosecutors did a full-on press on Lil Durk. They announced they're indicting Lil Durk on another charge. On May 1st, 2025, the grand jury returned a second superseding indictment charging defendant Banks and his co-conspirators with crimes arising from the August 2022 murder of SR, which is Lil Pop, including an additional charge of stalking resulting in death. Defendant Banks has presented a false narrative that he is being prosecuted and detained because of his violent lyrics. This claim is and has always been baseless. The SSI contains no allegations about defendant's lyrics. Instead, just like every iteration of the indictment before it, the SSI contains significant allegations that shows defendant alleged role in the execution-style murder of SR on a busy street corner in Los Angeles. These allegations and the other evidence the court considered during defendant's December 2024 detention hearing leave no doubt that defendant is an ongoing danger to witness and the community and a flight risk. He should remain detained pending trial. The prosecutor's not even hiding it, bro. This was a...
Bro, that's like a diversion. It don't make no sense. You could say, you could tell it's a direct response to Lil Durk and his attorney press run for as why he should be released and why the defense doesn't have a case. It's evident what it is. It's so Bro, it's so obvious.
Direct response to Lil Durk's attorney trying to expose him. Because the charge is irrelevant, bruh. If Lil Durk gets convicted of stalking that results in death, then he's probably gonna get convicted of conspiracy that resulted in death as well. It's similar charges, homie. Like, stalking is just more specific. So this was really not needed, but they made sure to go back and get another charge in the superseded indictment on May 1st. You know why? Well, yeah, on May 1st. You know why? Because they're proving, hey, bro, we can get this indictment without the lyrics. We went back and got them to indict Lil Durk on stalking that resulted in murder without the violent lyrics. So how can you say this case is based on violent lyrics? Which, this is a change. Because if the violent lyrics were not important, they wouldn't have included it all throughout the first indictment. It's silly. Now, they didn't just stop here, bro. And here's why I say Lil Durk is cooked. So there was a sealed paperwork regarding Lil Durk.
Let's hear. He said, because Flacco did start with Lil Durk is cooked. That first little additional charge, that wasn't enough. Let's hear why Lil Durk is cooked. Right here.
For about the last 4 or 5 months, right? But we knew it was coming. And that was the indictment or the paperwork regarding the murder of Stephen Mack. The guy on your left is Anthony Montgomery. The guy on your right is Preston Powell. These two dudes were responsible for the death of the Smashville GD leader, Stephen Mack. Stephen Mack, who you see on your left right here, was leaving a Stop the Violence meeting at a youth center when he was gunned down and killed. Think about the trauma that this caused for the kids who were at that meeting. These kids are seeing this dude who is like a leader in their community who's trying to push for peace, and they look outside and he's getting gunned down.
That'll make me feel bad because I'm trying to put together something for Stop the Violence. You know what I mean? At my age, I feel like I understand. 10 years ago, nothing. I had a lot of homies that got sentenced to a lot of time, and when they was I'm talking about when they was going through the judicial process, they weren't even sentenced yet. They were like, hey, when I come home, I'm gonna be brother. You know, they going. You know, they tap it more into the religion, and it's more about people in recovery. And you know what I mean, trying to better their life and flip things around, even though they went down the road path and they trying to give people a leg. And hey, one of my friends, he has a youth ministry. He got a whole, I'm talking about a whole program for. You go into a sober living house, and shout out to white boy Nate. Was treacherous for armed robberies all over the city. And then I got another homeboy. He said he was going to come home as Brother Thompson. He from Mad Ave, Gunroo, Clapper. Michael Gun Clapping Thompson. That's what I used to call him. You know what I'm saying? White boy Nate was so White boy Nate was so vicious. I'm talking about on that tip. Even though we were on opposing teams, meaning our hoods was ops, me and him was always like this. But they changed their lives, you know what I mean? So I understand, and I'm on that same path for it's positive. That's what I'm trying to fly straight. I just wanted to put that out there because I sympathize with what's going on right here. But he said this is why Lil Durk cooked. Let me back it up.
See on your left right here was leaving a Stop the Violence meeting at a youth center when he was gunned down and killed. Think about the trauma that this caused for the kids who were at that meeting. These kids are seeing this dude who is like a leader in their community who's trying to push for peace, and they look outside and he's getting gunned down. They're like, hold on, bro. Like, this pushing peace is ridiculous. The feds is putting this murder on Lil Durk too. He's listed in the arrest warrant. He's listed in the complaints. He just hasn't been officially indicted yet. But if you read the original Lil Durk indictment, the feds made it perfectly clear. They are investigating Lil Durk for this murder, and they plan on charging him with this murder as well. But the feds will put this out, coincidentally, after Lil Durk had the week he had blasting the feds for getting something wrong. Now, what the feds will claim is after Lil Durk's brother D-Thing was murdered, Lil Durk became bloodthirsty.
Excuse me. I wondered that Lil Durk and his attorney they had to discuss this, right? Cause they both went on basically a press run, and they went on a platform that they both was comfortable with, that was favorable to them, and they felt like was big enough. Academics. Let me say this: academics is big. He's huge for us in my world when it comes to hip hop, the hip hop platform, right? Lil Durk is, man, I remember Lil Durk with I remember Lil Durk before he got his start. I remember when he had the low cut, you know what I mean, the white baby mama. I remember Lil Durk, Chief Keef, Lil Reese, Fredo Santana days. Chief Keef, Fredo Santana. I ain't gonna say Lil Durk, but was coming over to Borden States and doing features when Lil Durk, not Lil Durk, when Chief Keef's single I Don't Like was hot. They megastars now, superstars. Lil Durk, I would say Lil Durk is light years past Chief Keef. But Chief Keef is predominantly and the birth of drill music. Can't nobody take that from him. But I say that to say this. Lil Durk is bigger than these platforms that he's going on his press run for. But in the same notion, just like they use Lil Durk cover stories, you know, as a DJ Academics is a media outlet. And it's like cross promotion. You cover these stories, vice versa. We say you cover these stories, right? DJ Academics cover these stories on these artists, various artists. If you cover a story on an artist that's predominant as Lil Durk, and then he get put in his predicament, it's like a courtesy for him to use you. It's like a win-win. Now he's in a position where he needs to lean on you. His lawyer even comes out and you know, on a press run. He's not no public figure to where he's performing on stage. You know what I'm saying? He's sitting doing interviews on cameras. Lil Durk did an interview with DJ Academics before. Now he's in a situation where his lawyer has to represent him or speak for him or speak in his behalf in his defense. You see how it plays back and forth? And we talking about the social media outlet with the artist. The social media outlet needs to cover the artist's story to get him further followers, more views, to where the artist is put in a jam, a little space or a little breathing room, and sees it's the cases. Oh, right here, here's a loophole. Let's use this media outlet to expose it. Because why? He can't go on a press run himself. He can't speak about it at shows. You see how it go hand in hand now? You see how it goes? Yeah, it's like that.
Thirsty. He put a bag on any and every GD in Chicago's head. He wanted them gone. According to an
Whoa. Dirt don't like GDs?
informant, at the time that Stephen Mack passed away, he was the respected leader of the Smashville GDs.
Whoa.
This was
you talking about the dude that's fishing for peace?
Brother D-Thing was murdered. Lil Durk became bloodthirsty. He put a bag on any and every GD in Chicago's head. He wanted them gone. According to an informant, at the time that Stephen Mack passed away, he was the respected leader of the Smashville GDs. So this was the perfect candidate to send a message to the city after Lil Durk's brother D-Thing got killed. This right here is the suspected killer of Lil Durk's brother D-Thing. Now you're probably asking yourself, Flacco, why don't Durk just get him? He's currently in jail for a double homicide, bro. All right, so even if Durk wanted to, he can't. Feds will claim that Lil Durk got Stephen Mack hit, not only because Stephen Mack was a GD, but Stephen Mack was also really close with the alleged killer. So CHS1 has reported that Lil Durk was and still is offering money for people to kill those responsible for his brother's murder, and more specifically, offering to pay money for any GD that is killed. CHS1 has also indicated that D-Thing was killed by members of Dumb Street. According to CHS1, Dumb Street is a GD faction on the south side of Chicago. According to CHS1, Dumb Street member Individual A was a close associate of Mack. According to law enforcement records, Individual A is currently in pre-trial custody for allegedly committing a double murder that took place at a country club Hills, Illinois. And yeah, that's the dude that we just showed you.
To breach the jail system and have someone clipped. Oh yeah. Now you talking money. It ain't even about money. It's about a person having real reach. That's reach.
Not only because Stephen Mack was a GD, but Stephen Mack was also really close for his brother's murder, and more specifically, offering to pay money for any GD that is killed. CHS1 has also indicated that D-Thing was killed by members of Dumb Street. According to CHS1, Dumb Street is a GD faction on the south side of Chicago. According to CHS1, Dumb Street member Individual A was a close associate of Mack. According to law enforcement records, Individual A is currently in pre-trial custody for allegedly committing a double murder that took place at a country club Hills, Illinois. And yeah, that's the dude that we just showed you. Lil Durk hasn't been charged with this Stephen Mack murder, obviously, because they don't have enough to charge him. But what exactly do they have, and what's keeping them motivated to further this investigation to try to tie Lil Durk to this? So after Montgomery and Powell murdered Stephen Mack, Powell was not really connected to Durk. Montgomery was the one that had the OTF and Durk connection. So Powell trying to get paid, he trying to get his money. So Powell's texting Montgomery, bro, what's up with OTF? And Montgomery responded back, nothing, right? Because why you texting me this, bro? All right, so then Powell said, what you mean, they not paying? Montgomery texted
Hold
back,
on.
we waiting.
Hold on.
Here on the 7th.
Hold on, because I'm sending a text. Hold on. Bro, this shit, this ish sound crazy. Oh, damn, I pressed it.
But what exactly do they have, and what's keeping them motivated to further this investigation to try to tie Lil Durk to this? So after Montgomery and Powell murdered Stephen Mack, Powell was not really connected to Durk. Montgomery was the
phone
one that
call
had the
too, the subject
Durk connection. So Powell trying to get paid, he trying to get his money. So Powell's texting Montgomery, bro, what's up with OTF? And Montgomery responded back, nothing, right? Because why you texting me this, bro? All right, so then Powell said, what you mean, they not paying? Montgomery texted back, we waiting. He come up here on the 17th. Durk had a show on the 17th, and he also filmed a music video on the 17th.
Stand
the
on.
17th came.
Well, stand on. That's why you with
Stand
Dirk.
on that. Why you with Dirk and them? So he's saying, bruh, if we ain't get paid, why you with Dirk and them? All right? So then he texted him again. Did Dirk gave you that money? Montgomery is a slimy dude, and he did Pow dirty, and we're going to break that down shortly. But texting about compensation for open murder ain't the dumbest thing.
Hey, Flock. I love Flock. Flock, whoa. Flock, why you exposing that?
And he did Pow dirty, and we're going to break that down shortly. But texting about compensation for open murder ain't the dumbest thing these two dudes did, bruh. Yo, I'm not...
You saying they did something dumber than that? Ain't no way they did something dumber than texting about an open murder. I know you lying, Flock. Let's roll the clip.
Sure if Lil Durk employed these dudes directly or if it was his vehicle. Once his back was turned, they hopped out and killed him. So after they killed him, they have a vehicle parked, by the way, right? They hopped out the vehicle to do it. The vehicle is parked. These two dudes left the vehicle parked, panicked, and ran off after committing a murder. Not drive off, ran off on foot. Once they got a few blocks down
I can see that happening. You have something planned and situated, stationary, waiting on you. But then when you do something, you feel like it's so loud or so noisy that you abandon your plan and go with plan B. And plan B is you ain't even have a plan. So you just run like scatter roaches, you know what I mean, to the nearest escape route that you make basically like an ad lib. You just do it right there on the spot. You improvise. Do something impulsively.
Away, right? They got away. Montgomery realized he left his phone.
Oh my God! No, you can't be serious. You got a killer leaving his phone in the vehicle. That's crazy work.
To commit the murder. The vehicle that's on surveillance of y'all hopping out and committing a murder, and you left your phone in the vehicle, and it gets dumber. Okay, so he said it gets dumber. Montgomery thought that he was doing some type of 4D chess move.
He said it gets dumber.
Because 45 minutes after the murder, he called AT&T to report his phone stolen. Yeah.
Flock, where do they make these criminals at? In OTF?
In the vehicle, and it gets dumber. Okay, so Montgomery thought that he was doing some type of 4D chess move.
He said 4D chess move.
After the murder, he called AT&T to report his phone stolen. Yeah, okay, buddy. All right. His phone was in the vehicle because it was stolen. Man, cut it out, bruh. You would think this was a Lil Durk indictment because they brought a gang expert to testify that Lil Durk was confessing to the murder of Stephen Mack in the Aha song. Yo,
Okay. It's a Lil Durk relates to. I can't hear myself, so it'll make me louder. Lil Durk released a song titled Aha after Mack was murdered on or about February 22nd, 2022. Lil Durk released a song titled Aha. I remember that song. I believe that the lyrics to this song can reasonably be interpreted to be reference to Lil Durk having people killed. For example, in one portion of Aha, Lil Durk rapped, "We be sliding through the man." They been doing it though, so I'm not gonna act surprised. Lil Durk having people killed, for example, in a portion. "We sliding through they blocks and they don't know we have. Buddy ass got shot and we ain't claiming it, but I can show his ass." The fuck? Based on my training and experience and knowledge of this investigation, I believe that these lyrics can reasonably be interpreted to be a reference to Mac's murder. After Mac was murdered, an unknown individual recorded YPC surveillance video of the murder on what appeared to have been a separate video recording device, possibly a cell phone, and distributed the video too.
Bro, this Aha song got Lil Durk in a lot of trouble, bro. Because this Aha song was also mentioned in Quando Rondo's indictment. So it would say, on or about February 22nd, 2022, Lil Durk released a song titled...
He probably put the Mac guy in one verse and Quando Rondo in another verse. You know, with verses, you know, verses is like either you do a depiction of real life, you telling the story, you know what I mean? It's entertainment.
Aha, after Stephen Mack was murdered. Now, the gang expert says that they believe the lyrics to this song can reasonably be interpreted to be references to Lil Durk having people killed. For example, in one portion of Aha, Lil Durk rapped, "We be sliding through they blocks, they don't know we have. Buddy, I got shot, and we ain't claim it, but I can show his eye." Now, based on a gang expert's training, he will say, "Based on my training and experience and knowledge of this investigation, I believe that these lyrics can reasonably be interpreted to be a reference to Mac's murder." After Mac was murdered, an unknown individual recorded YPC's, which was the youth center, surveillance video of the murder on what appears to have been a separate video recording device, possibly a cell phone, and they distributed the video to a lot of people, including Durk. Here's the filming of the music video. And you know who was in that music video? You know who Lil Durk put in the music video front row? He put Anthony Montgomery, the alleged killer of Stephen Mack.
He put a lot of subliminal messages in these videos. I mean, if you look at it, it is. He's beyond all the other guys that's in the video. You can see the two guys that's sitting down. The one with the Space Jam Michael Jordan, and it looked like the other one in the blue jeans that's going like kind of like, I don't know what he throwing up, but he looked like he got some white Air Forces. The alleged killer with the jacket, with the shiesty, he's beyond and past. Even though the white Air Forces is beyond this crack in the ground. If you see like how these two guys are sitting down, their feet is right at the edge of this line. He's standing on the line and his right foot is past it. The guy in the white is way beyond past that line, but this one being that he's standing up, it make it appear that he's standing way beyond the crowd to make him like a soloist, you know, like a one-on-one with the camera. And he's a alleged murder of the Mac, you know, the individual Mac.
And you see Lil Durk circled in the middle, and Montgomery is circled on.
We all know that's Mac. I mean, we all know that's Dirt. Way in that far. It's almost how okay, I'm gonna say this. How the audience, how the crowd is, it's like Lil Durk is centered, but it's not the middle. It's not the middle of the portrait. But you could tell, you know how you make a portrait back in the day, you put those two lines and then you make a cross and it's like a 3D. That's how Lil Durk is.
Your left. So you got lyrics that are expected or suspected to be about Stephen Mack, and then you have Stephen Mack Killer in the video. Dirk, this is self-snitching at levels I ain't never seen before, bro. You gotta relax. But the self-snitching don't stop here. No. You know they gotta make it easy for the feds, bro. Anthony Montgomery, the suspected killer of Stephen Mack, he posted to his Facebook story. He posted a huge amount of money. Now, he don't have a job, he don't have a business, so where did he get this huge amount of money from? Well, the fans have an idea, because when he posted a picture with a huge amount of money, he had a song playing and lyrics appearing on the screen. Now, when you make a Facebook story, you actually choose what part of the song you want to appear on your screen.
They're talking about a short. That's a short.
Anthony Montgomery chose those specific lyrics. We be sliding through the block and they don't know we have. So the killer that was in the AHA video with Lil Durk, the lyric that the feds pointed out that they believe is related to Stephen Mack, the suspected killer went from being in the music video to going on social media, posting a picture of himself holding up a lot of cash with the Lil Durk AHA playing in the background and those specific lyrics appearing on the screen. Boy, y'all gotta stop making it this easy for them folks, bro. Pow Wow is waiting to get paid. Anthony Montgomery got paid, and bro, he stopped answering President Pow Wow calls, man. He ghosted him completely. Yo, imagine me and Pow Wow, bro. You caught a body for the free ski because you think you about to get paid, and then your co-defendant, who is linked to the.
It is none. The street thing, the street code, street ethics, it's different these days. It's totally different. You can see it right here. This is Burton, and this is proof. Go ahead.
Is waiting to get paid. Anthony Montgomery got paid, and bro, he stopped answering President Pow Wow calls, man. He ghosted him completely. Yo, imagine me and Pow Wow, bro. You caught a body for the free ski. Because you think you about to get paid, and then
R.I.P. No disrespect. Sound like Lil Durk. Sound like Young Dolph. Bro, you caught a body when they put $100,000 bounty and only got paid $800.
Then your co-defendant, who is linked to the people who trying to pay, bro, he got the bread and he ghosted you, bro. And you see him on Facebook flexing, bro. I'll be real, bro. This damn near caused a war, homie. Now, they have a lot, but they don't have enough. They don't have the smoking gun to indict Lil Durk for this. But they have expressed their intentions. They intend on charging Lil Durk with this, right? Come hell or high water. So this is just, this is crazy. And let me know in the comment section, man. Do y'all believe that Lil Durk was involved in this? Do y'all believe this is fair? Do y'all think Lil Durk is ever going to see a day of light again, man? Let me know in the comment section, okay? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen to find out how Jim Jones got extreme backlash for
you talking about Jim Jones, the next video. I see it right here in the comments. But the Lil Durk thing is wild, wicked, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But that's that press run. That's what it do to you when you got them people on your back. You heard?
Exposing himself mid-interview. I'm going to see you guys in this video.